Okay, let's get started. She's in her YouTube era, whatever. I want to get comfortable. How do I want to sit? I think like this, but I just have to make sure because my back starts hurting or whatever. Girl, when they said, when older people would tell me like, oh, okay, when you get older, you're gonna feel it in your body, what I would think in my head is, I'm like, listen, you old bitch, like maybe not me, maybe you, but not me. I'm gonna work out. It's me too. It's me too. I be feeling it every day, especially when I go dancing. When I wake up the next night after dancing, my entire body is sore. I'm like, getting old is real. Getting old is real. We can't beat it. We can't beat it. Anyways, I digress. Welcome to Lorraine's World, a small, tiny glimpse inside my inner world. I am not here to tell you what to do, how to think, or how to be. I am simply here to reflect back to you what you already know. To say things out loud that maybe you've only whispered to yourself. And if nothing else, I hope that something I share here invites you back home to yourself, to your body, and to your own inner knowing. Now let's get started. Today we're going to talk about emotions. We're going to talk about emotions and how to stop villainizing them, right? Stop projecting emotions on this negative light of there's good emotion and there's bad emotion. We are humans. We are here to have a human experience. And part of that is to feel emotion, a wide range of emotion, and to build capacity within ourselves, safety within ourselves, our body, our minds, to feel these emotions in a healthy way. Okay, let's get started. So I really want to start with this misconception of healing and how toxic positivity has really led us to believe that any emotion outside of emotions that have been labeled positive are bad to dive into, bad to let ourselves feel it, let ourselves express it, let ourselves work through it, process it. There is no such thing as a bad or negative emotions. And I remember hearing it this way through another creator's video where she said, all emotions are welcome, but not all behavior is welcome. It's so easy to lose ourselves in identifying with an emotion versus realizing that emotion is just present with us. The first thing that you can do is stop identifying with these emotions. Just because you feel sadness and want to express sadness doesn't mean that you're broken. Just because you feel anger and want to express anger doesn't mean that you're mean or like an angry, negative person. Just because you're feeling pain and need to express that pain doesn't mean that something is inherently wrong with you. In learning to not identify with these emotions and just understand that these emotions are just present and come up within our bodies for us to feel, process, and work through and release, you take away this identity or needing to identify yourself and who you are as a whole with what you're just feeling in one moment. There's also this misconception of healing, right? Like that if I heal, I'll never feel these again. My goal of healing is so that I don't feel sadness, anger, disappointment, or anxiety ever again. But the truth is that if we want to experience joy, love, connection, it does come at the cost of possibly and almost inevitably feeling pain, disappointment, betrayal, sadness, and anything else of the opposite of the spectrum of those emotions. Healing doesn't mean that you become perfectly regulated all the time. No matter how good you get, no matter how good you are, no matter how positive or great you can experience life throws curveballs. None of us are exempt from the way life can toss us around. Healing doesn't mean avoiding triggers, avoiding difficult emotions, or avoiding difficult situations. Healing means creating a safety, a safetiness, a safe space within yourself where you can process these emotions effectively. The goal isn't to eliminate emotions or eliminate yourself from experiencing these emotions. It's not to eliminate the welcoming of these emotions. Healing is to develop the capacity to allow yourself to feel these emotions safely. And the analogy that comes to mind is surfing, like in the ocean, right? So if ocean is life, and there's waves of life. And when we don't know how to surf, if we don't have a surfboard, if we don't have the balance, if we don't have the proper tools and understanding how to ride the waves of life, we crash out, right? So your first experience in experiencing any emotion or any situation, if you crash out the first time you experience that, it's going to be traumatizing, right? You don't know up from down, you're riding around inside the wave, and you automatically want to get out of that ocean, sit on the shore, and you're like, no, fuck this, I am not doing this again. It makes sense, right? We don't want to experience that again. I didn't know how to ride that wave properly. I couldn't see the wave coming. I couldn't catch myself in the wave. I didn't have the proper tools, the balance, the insight, the knowledge, I didn't have anyone around me. I didn't know what to do when the wave caught me. The wave took me, I crashed out, and now I'm choosing to sit on the shore. But the problem is when we choose to sit on the shore of life, and we choose to watch the ocean, watch the waves crash, come up and down or whatever, we are choosing essentially to not experience the joy of riding those waves properly. We're choosing not to experience the love and the insight and the knowledge that we can learn from when we misstep and when we do crash out, when we do fall off a wave, and we do fall off our boards, and we didn't ride that properly. But because I'm sitting here and learning how to do it, I'm getting better each time. So if the emotions are like the waves of an ocean, if the emotions are like the waves of an ocean, period, someone write that down. If emotions are the waves of the ocean, healing isn't avoiding the waves, right? If we want to experience life, we're going to experience the waves. It's about learning how to ride those waves that best fit us, our experience, what we want to experience. Maybe we only want to experience waves close to the shore. Maybe there's some of us who want to go out all the way deep and experience the bigger waves. We all have preference, and we don't learn those preferences. We don't learn what we actually want, like, prefer, don't like, unless we put ourselves out there to experience it. So why do we villainize emotions? We villainize emotions because most of the time, the first time we experience big, heavy emotions, we weren't properly supported in those emotions. And whether that be from our upbringing, society, or even within ourselves. So emotions aren't unsafe inherently. Emotions just are. They are a part of life. They are part of the human experience. But how we were taught to suppress them is what makes them feel unsafe to feel, to process, to experience. We are conditioned to believe that emotional suppression. I get so tongue twisted sometimes because I feel like my brain is like typing the message faster than my mouth can say it out loud, and I'm trying to say it in a good cadence. We are conditioned to believe that emotional suppression equals strength. We are conditioned to believe that suppressing and holding down our emotions means that we have it all together and that we're stronger than I can handle it, I can do it, I'm not gonna let this emotion take over me. When in actuality, emotional suppression, suppressing these emotions, causes disconnection from yourself and disconnection to others. We don't actually fear the emotion itself. What we're fearing is what happened when that emotion came up and was expressed. When you have no internal toolbox, when you have no support, right? So it's not the wave that scares you, it's what happened when you didn't have a surfboard, or you didn't have the proper balance, or you didn't have the correct insight and knowledge into how to ride that wave that made that wave feel scary. So what happens now when these emotions come up, when these waves hit, is that your body remembers what it felt like when the first time that emotion came up, right? So your body's probably remembering the overwhelming feeling of this emotion being present. It's remembering being shamed, ignored, or even punished for expressing and feeling this emotion. And that's a trigger, right? When we are taken out of the present moment and our our brain or our body remembers what it feels like to experience this wave, this emotion. Our nervous system is remembering, I've been here before and it wasn't safe last time. It wasn't safe to express this. It wasn't safe to feel this. And so I'm going to suppress it. I'm going to push it down. I'm going to ignore it. But again, the problem with doing that is you're disconnecting from yourself. Our emotions act as guides. They are signals that our body is sending us into things we need to heal, things we need to look at. It's a guidance system in how to lead us to curate more joy and more preferred emotions. It's okay if you don't like to express sadness or feel it. It's okay if you don't like to feel pain or express it. It's okay if you don't like to feel anger or express it. It's okay if you don't like these things. It's okay if they're unpreferable, but it is part of life. It's part of the range of emotion that we're meant to feel. We're meant to come here to feel these emotions. And it's also the opposite of the spectrum. Again, if you want to feel love, you're going to know grief. If you want to truly know and feel trust, you are going to know betrayal. But instead of stepping back onto the shore and staying there for a longer period of time in order to get yourself back out there into the ocean and experiencing life and beauty and love and joy and happiness and hope, it's going to require you to build a better toolbox. It's going to require you to get a better surfboard, to learn how to balance on it, to learn about surfing and how to, learn from other people who have surfed before, and maybe even invite a friend out to surf with you, right? Not everything has to be done alone, but it's in the emotional suppression that we feel isolated, that we feel like nobody understands me, nobody gets this, nobody can help me through this. It's going to require a level of vulnerability within yourself and in turn with others to build those better toolboxes, build better understanding of yourself and the world around you. One of my favorite quotes that I hear all the time in my head and actually comes from this book. The book is called Mama Jenna's School of Womanly Arts. And she says that to remind ourselves that I feel how I feel, and that's the right way to feel. A lot of the times when an emotion comes up, we start gaslighting ourselves out of that emotion, like, oh, I'm not really feeling that way, or it's not that big of a deal. I'm strong enough. I can handle it. I don't have to let this emotion come up. But you're essentially, in those moments, gaslighting yourself out of feeling how you naturally feel. And when we do that, when you gaslight yourself out of feeling how you are feeling, you lose the connection to yourself. You're turning down that internal signal, those internal guidance cues into how to move through the emotion that you are feeling. When you can honor what you're feeling instead, when you can say, okay, I am angry right now. Okay, I do feel sad right now. This is disappointing. You open up curiosity into how can I move through this versus suppressing it, denying it, and storing it somewhere in your body instead, right? The whole like emotion is energy in motion that wants to move through you. It doesn't want to stay stuck. It doesn't want to be here forever. It simply wants you to honor it, respect it, and express it in a healthy way. All emotions can be expressed in healthy ways. Anger, sadness, disappointment, grief. It can all be expressed in healthy ways. But when it turns unhealthy is when we bottle it up, bottle it up, bottle it up, bottle it up, and eventually it's going to explode. The goal of healing is not to avoid these emotions entirely unless you plan to fully disconnect from the world and fully disconnect from your ability to experience love, joy, hope, excitement, laughter. Like, unless you plan to completely cut yourself off from those emotions, you will feel the opposite of those emotions: pain, disappointment, sadness, grief. Healing is becoming a safe place for all of these emotions to live. Healing is building emotional capacity, not emotional perfection. There's no such thing. Even the happiest people you know, the most healed people you know, still feel these emotions. They just don't let the emotions define them, and they don't let the emotions control them. There's a difference between an emotion controlling you and an emotion guiding you. There's a difference between an emotion being a part of your identity and an emotion simply being a signal to your body of how to move in life. Anger usually comes up when a boundary is crossed, right? You're feeling angry for a reason. Grief is the price of love. Anything you love, you will have to grieve, whether that's through losing it physically or having to separate from that thing. There is no avoiding these heavier emotions. There's only honoring them or suppressing them. And really, at the end of the day, it's your choice how you choose to handle these emotions within your body. I'm just here to remind you that you're not broken for feeling. You are brave for learning how to stay with those emotions in those moments and honoring how your body is feeling naturally. I feel how I feel, and that's the right way to feel. And I'm getting emotional. And I feel how I feel, and that's the right way to feel. It makes me so emotional to know that most people suppress their ability to feel. And what we don't realize in that suppression, we are also limiting ourselves from feeling extreme love and extreme joy and extreme happiness and extreme hope and extreme faith and all those things. And I know this because I used to be there. I used to suppress just like everybody else. I used to talk myself out of how I was feeling. And it leads to really dark places and spaces within our own bodies. And it's a good reminder that what we experience outside of ourselves, we are experiencing within ourselves first. Nobody can betray you unless you're betraying yourself first. Nobody can disrespect you unless you're disrespecting yourself first. Nobody can cause you pain unless pain is a normal part of your way of being within yourself first. Healing is choosing to be with yourself in that wave instead of abandoning yourself in it. You can't selectively numb, right? Again, if you're choosing to cut off your ability to feel pain, sadness, disappointment, grief, anger, the heavier emotions of life, you are also cutting yourself off, disconnecting yourself and from others to be able to experience the love, the joy, the laughter, the beauty that is also being offered at the same time. To feel deeply, to live fully, is to allow yourself to feel both sides of that spectrum. And so from what I've noticed about building any new habit in life is that there's layers to this. The first step is building a new awareness to this, right? So we are, especially when it's a habit, you're on autopilot when things come up. If you're already used to suppressing your emotions, it's going to feel really hard, and that's okay, but it's going to feel really hard when you want to start feeling them instead. And so my suggestion is to start building the awareness. Start observing yourself more when these emotions arise. And when you can start clicking, like in those moments of I'm feeling angry, instead of suppressing it right away, if you can have the awareness in that moment to get curious, why am I angry? Why am I feeling like this? Can I just sit with this? It's going to be so uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel wrong. It's going to feel weird. And that's okay. That's a natural part of breaking an old habit and creating a new one. I also highly suggest that you take that affirmation and say, I feel how I feel, and that's the right way to feel. You are validating yourself in that moment that how you're feeling, it's the right way to feel. Now, all emotions are welcome, not all behavior is welcome. It doesn't mean that you get to act right away from that emotion. You get to act on it and lash out. It simply is inviting you to accept that this is how you're feeling, not talk yourself out of how you're feeling, and start sitting with that emotion when it's present. Most of the time, emotions just want to be felt. They just want to be felt. They don't always have to be understood. They don't always have to be named. This doesn't always have to work that way. Sometimes it's just sitting with it. I'm angry right now. I'm sad right now. I'm uncomfortable right now. Breathe through it. Just pause. You don't always have to rush to a solution. You don't always have to rush to any action step. You can simply feel an emotion, feel the sadness come up, feel the anger come up, and sit with it. I feel how I feel, and that's the right way to feel. Can I just sit with this emotion just for a minute? Our emotions are our friends. They are our friends. They are our guides. They are signals to us in life. What do I need more healing in? What do I need to give more attention to? What parts of myself am I outsourcing that I shouldn't be doing anymore? Because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good in my body anymore. So pause, breathe with it, sit with it, and validate it. I'm feeling sad, and that's the right way to feel because that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling angry, and that's the right way to feel because that is how I'm feeling. Even if it makes other people uncomfortable, which it does 90% of the time, that's not your business. Your business is how your body is feeling. Your business is the signals and guidance you're getting through these emotions. And from there, you can learn different tools. Maybe journaling helps. Maybe walking it out, right? Movement is a great way to release these emotions. Crying it out. Sometimes when I'm feeling sad and I don't necessarily want to name it, because it's not always something that is happening in the moment. Sometimes it's just a time that your body felt time to release, time to rise up, time to look at this. Sometimes I'll just put on a sad song and really let myself feel it. I remember hearing this one time, and I'm not sure if the statistic is 100% correct, so don't quote me, but it said something like that emotions only take 90 seconds to fully feel. Like if you can sit with yourself for a minute and a half, which really what I've come to know is it's a few minutes. Okay? I've never sat with something for a minute and a half and I'm fine after. But if you could sit with yourself for a few minutes with that emotion, most of the time it just needs to be felt and you can go about your life. If you think about children, which I love children because children are so untainted. They can teach us how to live, right? Pets too, but in this case, children. Think about how often a child goes through emotions throughout the day, right? They're sad, they're happy, they're frustrated, they're throwing a tantrum, they're great. Like, it's because they're not taught not to feel those things yet. They're not taught that it's wrong to feel this way. They're simply feeling an emotion arise, letting themselves feel it. And if we can learn to sit with those children in those moments, most of the time, you know, if we can have patience and we could breathe through it with them, they let it go within a few minutes. Their tantrum is done after a few minutes. It's through conditioning of learning that if I throw a tantrum, I'll get attention. If I sit here and cry for too long, people are gonna start working their way around me to give me options to choose ways out of this feeling. That's when those emotions last a little bit longer. If you can learn to sit with yourself long enough to just let the emotion ride through like a wave, it's just another wave. The water comes to the shore and goes back. The waves come in and they dissipate. Then we teach ourselves that emotions aren't so bad, that it's just here. It's here to be felt. And if we can name it from there, if we can journal and understand it better, that's even more amazing. But most of the time, an emotion just wants to be felt, honored, and respected. So what matters most is you just staying present with yourself in those moments. Don't abandon yourself in the moment that you're feeling the emotion. Let it work its way through you and let it go and move on. And life goes on and the day goes on, because that's how you'll build emotional capacity within yourself when you stop fearing the wave and just learn how to ride it. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, and you figure that out by getting back on the board and riding the wave again. So thank you for listening. I hope, again, that anything I shared here invited you back home to yourself and to your own inner knowings. And I just want to remind you that you've always known how to listen to yourself, that you know what's best for you, that you've just been conditioned to seek validation outside of yourself. You've been conditioned to believe that it's safer to ask somebody else what to do when you've always known. But the truth is that your knowing has never left you. It's just been waiting for you to listen. And you don't need me or anyone else to tell you how to think or how to be. You just need the space to remember that you already know.